Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, where today I'm doing a less than successful eyeshadow look, but we're just rolling with it. You know, you play around, you see what you like, you see what you don't like, and then you know, right? I'm playing with a new palette in my collection. It was given to me by a subscriber, and this is the first time I'm using it. I know that every subsequent time I'm gonna like the palette more. It's just today's eyeshadow look, not my favorite, but that's okay. I'm also chatting about the reason that I haven't done eyeshadow itself in like 2 weeks and what's been going on in general, which has taken my attention away from playing with eyeshadow. It's funny, I actually had about a week and a half of content that I was able to pre-film and have scheduled in the queue. And usually when that happens, I'm ahead of myself, right? And that feels good. And then I just continue filming and I continue loading up my list of scheduled videos. Well, this time I didn't. I haven't done my eyeshadow in about a week and a half, actually. And so at the time of filming, I have one more video in my queue, which you guys have probably already seen by now, but it's the one, which one is it? It's the one talking about body image and Miss Universe getting hate online and things like that. That's the last video that I had in my lineup for quite some time. So today I'm actually filming a brand new fresh video, and somebody requested that I use Ensley Reign. So this is the last Ensley Reign palette. No, it's not. The second to last Ensley Reign palette that I received from a subscriber, which I haven't played with yet. This is the Hoppy Go Lucky, the first, I believe, of their little 6-pan collection, and it's really cute. I recently saw a video from Betty Jean. She had done a short, I forget what palette she was using. Oh, it was the Clarity Cosmetics Coffee palette. Anyway, she did a really different application style, and I thought it would be fun to sort of try it out. So I do plan to use possibly every shade in the palette, but I have a palette pull-in as well. It's a project where I have a palette randomly selected from within my collection, and I challenge myself to use the shades in consecutive order, just incorporating whatever is next into my eyeshadow look. So here is Pretty Chic from Colored Rain. I've used these first two, so now we're on to the shade Sweetheart, which is a hot, hot pink. And given what I know of the Colored Rain formula, I'm expecting it to be very pigmented. It'll work with today's look, I think. I don't know. I have mostly an idea, but then this palette pull-in is throwing me off. But I have primed my eyes with the Glam Light Icing Primer, and I'm gonna get going. So what Betty Jean did was she traced her crease line with the darkest shades and softened from there. She put a lighter shimmer on her whole lid, and then she ended up using a bright green like a water activated or gel liner, and she traced the cut. Basically it's essentially a cut crease, not in the traditional technique of doing a cut crease, but that's the idea. Anyway, I'm not very good at this, and I'm curious to see how it's going to go, but I would like to try. So starting in the shade Carrot Cake with a liner brush, flat angle brush. Let me tell you what I've been doing since I haven't done my eyeshadow, and by the way, everything I'm using is linked in the description box. I have a small art business, and I've actually been really excited about my art these last couple of weeks. Usually I do calligraphy and watercolor. I'm trying to follow my line here. And I don't necessarily have a product that keeps people coming back for more. I mean, I do, but I don't have a customer base. I have one customer who has a standing order, and she's very kind and she's very sweet. And she gives me, you know, she just gets watercolor cards from me every month. And that's been really great because it keeps me learning new skills, doing new things, trying out different techniques, and trying to just figure out what my style is in watercolor. This brush is too big. Now I'm going to take a smaller blending brush and grab the shade Thumper. So she's been a consistent customer, and I really am grateful for her. It's the money that she's given me for these orders month after month, which has helped me get quality supplies and cover the overhead for my business. But I'm getting to the point where I really want to do something more with it. I'd like it to be more of a business. I'd like to have a product and a customer base that is a bit more involved and extensive. I'm just not quite sure how to go about doing that. I'm not very good at, and therefore need to learn about, marketing and social media and things like that. It's just not my strength. But you know what? When you own a small business, you have to wear a lot of different hats. And that's something that I'm gonna have to learn in order to promote what I'm doing and try to make sales and try to build a customer base. At the same time, while I really enjoy watercolor, I feel like I still haven't found my style. I just keep trying a bunch of different things, different styles, different techniques, different color palettes, and I enjoy all of them, but I haven't landed on what is me yet. And I think that some of that is playing with the medium until you get really comfortable with it, and then you can express yourself better rather than following tutorials and still learning. And I'm getting to that point now. So I'm getting there, you know, it's a process. At the same time, I recently stumbled upon, it's called semi-abstract acrylic painting, which is they do a wash of different colors in the background and then they throw some acrylic on the canvas or paper as texture everywhere, and then they might add in some details. Some don't, some do. And there are a lot of versions of this as well, and a lot of different levels. You know, you got really highly textured and highly abstract, and then you've got sort of textured and sort of abstract, and then there are flashes of much more detailed, realistic things, which is where you get the semi-abstract, and you've got everything in between. These colors are super pretty. I might look insane by the end of this, and this eye is almost guaranteed not to match, but I think the colors are pretty. I am going to, for the first time in ages, remember my glitter glue. This is from NYX, and I'm gonna put this on my lid. So, I was trying the semi-abstract acrylic stuff. I got some basic acrylic supplies and just decided to try it out, you know? I didn't really follow any tutorials per se, I just kind of copied what I saw as far as what it seemed that people were doing, and I really enjoyed it. And I really, like, I don't, fully abstract art is not really my thing, but I like the idea of the semi-abstract. One of the things I like most about watercolor is it can be very forgiving. I really like a picture of clarity with blurred edges. It kind of floats off into the ether. So I like this semi-abstract concept where you've got the texture and the whimsy of it all, but also some things that really do feel like they're rooted in reality. I'm gonna grab this shade with a flat brush because I'm curious how it'll pick up. The shade is called Velveteen. Oh, Velveteen Rabbit. And it's this peachy shimmer. And I'm gonna lay it down very specifically and precisely at the cut that I've created, and then fade down from there. Also, I wouldn't be able to be precise with my finger. Not up here. I've been doing a little bit of these semi-abstract landscapey kinds of things where you lay down your foundation colors and then you do the texture all over the canvas, and you may have a plan going in or you may not, and it's been fun. But I'm also looking at that thinking, here I am trying to recreate what other people are doing, trying to be somebody else and copy their method and their formula and their success. And I would like to just figure out who I am in this series, in this medium. Okay, this is gonna be prettier, I think, with my fingers. So I am tracing, but now I'm gonna pick it up with my finger and get some sparkle. So anyway, that's kind of what I've been doing these last couple of weeks. When I haven't been doing my eyeshadow, I've been taking any extra time that I have where I would ordinarily be filming and doing something, and just putting that mental energy into creating a different kind of art. Playing at my art desk, finishing up a couple of little outstanding projects, 1 or 2 commissions, and just generally being creative in a different space. And I'm grateful for that. I'm glad of that. I'm going to pick up a couple things, just because I feel like it'd be fun to use all the shades in the palette. I'll take Cottontail and put that right here. I'll take Hippity Hoppity Boo, which is this corally color, and I'm going to put that in my lower lash line. This is a matte match for the shimmer that I used. I'll start it in my inner half, and then I'll go into my palette pull-in called Sweetheart, just a little bit. This is, yeah, super pink. Just a little bit, running into this coral color. And then I'll go back into the coral. I have no plan. I am completely winging this. And kind of leave a little flash of pink over here, but I don't want it to be hot pink. I want it to be more coral. So I'm oranging up, I'm warming up the pink with this coral tone. Yeah. And then finally the shade Hoppy Hour on the tip of my finger. Obviously. And finally, I want this, what do I want? I don't know what I want. I want this shimmer, I think, to fade out a little bit. So I'm picking it up with a really loose and clean blending brush. The shimmer, again, Velveteen. I'm going under this cut crease that I've made and just sort of softening out that way. This is a really different style for me. I'm gonna have to see it from far away to know how I actually like it. And I like it close up, I think, but it's really unique for me. It's not something that I tend to do, especially because this is a 6-pan. Everyone's gonna be doing basically the same 2 looks. And I knew that I would too. So I'm glad that I saw Betty Jean's tutorial this morning because it made me feel a little bit more creative. Like, okay, what else can I do with this palette? Because most of the time I'm gonna go into it and get the same kind of looks that everybody's getting. Channeling Betty Jean as my inspiration, I'm taking my Painter's Paradise palette from Artitude. I'm gonna grab this blue. This is water activated palette. I don't know. I'm just gonna try it out. She had done this with a neon green and a coffee toned look. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do this blue color right under the cut line that I made with the initial purple matte. Okay, I kind of hate it, but it could be because I did rather a shoddy job with the outlining. And I was just talking about being a painter. Now, it's very messy. It was actually harder to be precise than I expected, and maybe I was moving too fast because I'm, again, taking advantage of the kids resting, but it's okay. You know what? It's fine. I'm gonna do the other side and be right back to close out today's video. I don't think I ever finished my thoughts in general on this video, talking about my business and my art specifically, and trying to find, I just love art, and I'm more of an artist than I ever realized, and that has really developed in my 30s. I'm trying to find what I love the most, because I think every artist struggles with this, where they dabble in 15 or 20 different media and they have so much art that fills their house and they can't get rid of it, you know. I'm trying to figure out where I'm most passionate. I haven't quite found that yet. And I might have even found the medium, but it's a matter of making it work for myself and my own tastes and my own preferences and my own imagination. Instead of just copying what I see other people do, I need to make something my own. So that's been the journey that I've been on lately, and actually have been for a while. There are little things that I make. You know, I do some wedding artwork or calligraphy, and I also do bookmarks, and I do small gifts for people, and I do commissions, just all these little random things. And one of my goals is to try to hone in and narrow in on 1 or 2 things that I can do really well, and try to settle into those more and market those specific products. I'm not sure. It's been a journey, and it will continue to be a journey. But anyway, as far as today's eyeshadow look goes, it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite, honestly. I think that the blue liner was a bit of a mistake. I think I would have liked it more without, especially because I didn't do it very neatly. Particularly on this side, and of course the blue mixed in with the very purple tones is giving the whole look a little bit more of a purple lean than it should, because I kind of was thinking it would lean more peach given the other colors that I used. I like the pink in the lower lash line, and the reason I chose blue was to tie into the inner corner, which is quite a bluer shimmer than you might expect looking at it in the pan. I think in the pan it doesn't look nearly as blue as it translates on the eyes. I did use every shade in the palette. These 2 purples, especially this one, very, very pretty. Let me tell you what I did to finish off. This is the shade Bay Breeze, I believe, from ColourPop's Creme Gel Liners. I have their Super Shock Cheek in the shade No Vacancy as a blush. And then on my lips, I've been wearing the Glow Reviver Lip Oil Honey Talks. I do have mascara on, that's everything. So yes, the eye look is absolutely not my favorite. Probably won't take the time to wash it off. Maybe I'll just, like, off camera, maybe I'll tweak it a bit, see if I can make it something I like more to wear for the rest of the day. But it's okay to experiment and to play around and try. This is how we learn what we do like, you know? Not everything is gonna be a raging success, and that's okay. So I appreciate you being here with me while I experimented today. Let me know in the comments what you think about today's eyeshadow look, about today's palette, about anything. You know I enjoyed chatting with you. I do have a description box filled with information and playlist suggestions. I have an Ensley Reign playlist if you're interested in that, and I hope that you'll consider liking and subscribing before you go if you enjoyed today's content, if you found it vaguely amusing, and if you want to see more like it. I hope that you have just a lovely day, and I look forward to chatting with you in my next video.